Crooked River, Chapter 38. If I live to be 1,000 years old, I will never forget what happened on the day of the hanging. How the morning dawned warm and bright, as if the blue sky didn't know an innocent Indian was going to be hanged beneath it. And how Reverend Doan came early to our house before me and Laura had even taken down the quilts strung from between our beds. I answered his soft knock at the door, seeing old Reverend Doan standing there with his Bible and his black funeral clothes, made the hollow feeling in my stomach grow worse. I have a small handful of tobacco to give John Amick, he said in his frail voice, and I'd like to read the scriptures to him and pray for his soul if I might. Pa, who was sitting at the table, told the minister that he could read the Bible and give the Indian all the tobacco in the wide world, but nothing would save an Indian's soul. All the same, Reverend Doan persisted, I've come to try. While the minister's thin voice droned above us in the loft, me and Laura cleared the breakfast table and tried to fix the clothes for Pa and the boys to wear. Laura was warming 2 of our flat irons in the fire, so she could smooth the creases out of Pa's suit of clothes. And I was mending one of Lorenzo's shirts when a rattling sound began outside our cabin. It sounded like the shivering noise of a rattlesnake tail, only louder. I turned to Laura. What do you reckon that is? What is? She wiped her sleeve across her flushed, warm face. That noise. I don't hear a sound, she answered. I moved over to the window to look out, and that's when I saw them. 2 crooked lines of men were marching out of our woods in a procession. Muskets rested on the men's shoulders, and they wore buttoned-up coats even though the morning was already warm. There was a boy in front who I had never seen before, and he was keeping time on a drum. My heart jumped with fear. What were they coming here for? As the lines drew closer, I could see a few faces I knew among the strangers. Mr. Evans and the Hoadley brothers, and William Grant and Vinegar Bigger, who was wearing an old cocked hat with a feather. The militia's here, Lorenzo hollered, bursting through the cabin door. The what? I whispered, turning away from the window. Lorenzo waved his arm. Come look at them, Reb. They're all going to keep guard at the hanging of the Indian. He pointed at the door excitedly. Pa told me there might be near 50 men from all over. I reckon that's how many there is. Don't you think so, Reb? All my breath seemed to leave me at once. I didn't have the words enough to answer Lorenzo. It took all the strength I had to keep myself from crumbling to the floor. Come and see the militia with me, Laura. Lorenzo turned and called out for my sister. They're all dressed real handsome. Shaking her head, my sister followed him outside after the door closed. I couldn't hold back my tears. Rebecca Carver, my mind whispered, what a fool you are. You never counted on anybody guarding the gallows, did you? Never figured on the militia being called. Just thought you would be the one to save Amick. What a fool you are. I am placed on the white man's wagon. A flocking crowd surrounds me. I remember the story of the old Ojibwe man, who once saw the future as clear as a reflection in an unbroken pond. The white spirits, said he, will someday number like sands on the shore, and they will sweep away our people from their sacred hunting grounds. My heart trembles. I gaze at the white spirits moving and shifting around me, like the sands on the shore of a lake, and I fear that the future foreseen by the old man has come.